Imagine the scene. Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time Formula One world champion. The single pilot who has carved out his place in the sport's history alongside Michael Schumacher, stepping out of his car in Las Vegas with a lost, devastated, utterly defeated look in his eyes. And this was not just another bad race. This was something fundamentally, tragically worse. Bernie Collins, the former McLaren performance engineer and Aston Martin strategist, has just dropped the bombshell that Ferrari must listen to with desperate urgency. There is something profoundly wrong happening with Lewis Hamilton, and the problem may be far more grave than it appears. Her declaration was not a mere professional comment. It was a desperate, loud plea for Maranello to wake up and act before it is too late to save their new champion. Let us contextualize the sheer magnitude of this disaster. Las Vegas marked a devastating historical negative record in Hamilton's stellar career. For the first time in more than 300 Grand Prix races, he started dead last on the grid. 19th place, ahead only of Tsunoda, who was starting from the pit lane. For a driver who has collected 104 pole positions in his career, this single fact alone should be humiliating enough. But the worst was yet to come. The race itself, which had appeared to be a chance for a spectacular redemption drive, tragically transformed into an even greater nightmare the moment the medium tires were bolted onto his car. What should have been an epic, signature charge through the field became a horror show that left the entire paddock perplexed and disturbed. And this is where the situation becomes deadly serious. Bernie Collins is not just another commentator. She was the chief strategist for Aston Martin, she worked deep behind the scenes at McLaren, and she knows every single technical detail of how a Formula One car should perform at its peak. When she says that Ferrari needs to investigate what happened with urgent priority, it is not speculation. It is a critical, blazing red alert based on concrete, irrefutable data that she witnessed during the race. Hamilton was performing well on the hard tires, maintaining a fiercely competitive rhythm and mounting a recovery drive that was truly worthy of his name. He attempted the undercut on Hülkenberg, a maneuver that should be simple, even routine, for a Ferrari against a mere Sauber. It should have been, but it was not. And what transpired immediately after that failure needs to be meticulously analyzed, minute by minute, by the entire Italian team. What followed was nothing short of embarrassing. Hamilton fitted the medium tires and simply locked up. He could not find pace, he could not find speed, and he could not overtake a car that should have been seconds behind him. Worse still, he began losing time, lap after agonizing lap. A 7-time world champion in a Ferrari, being hopelessly dropped by a Sauber. Can you possibly imagine the psychological weight of that visual reality? Collins was chillingly clear in her analysis. Something went catastrophically wrong during that medium tire stint, and this cannot, under any circumstances, be ignored. The telemetry data must have shown something truly alarming, because an engineer of her caliber would simply not issue such a powerful, urgent statement without concrete, scientific evidence. We are talking about a fundamental problem that could be related to the narrow tire temperature window, to the inherent car balance, or even a deep-seated failure in understanding precisely how to extract performance from that specific compound under cold conditions. The consequences of this disaster extend far beyond the bright lights of Las Vegas. Hamilton had already offered heavy, revealing statements in the races leading up to this. In Brazil, he mournfully stated that his dream of driving for Ferrari had turned into a nightmare. In Hungary, he suggested the team should swap drivers. In Bahrain, he admitted he was not doing a good enough job. But what we saw in Vegas was qualitatively different. Jenson Button, who knows Hamilton perhaps better than anyone else in the paddock, offered a deeply revealing insight. For the very first time this season, Button said, he saw Hamilton truly beaten, mentally broken. And Button knows exactly what he is talking about. He was Hamilton's teammate at McLaren. He saw firsthand how the British driver handles stress, and he knows the signs when something is fundamentally, profoundly wrong. And here lies the crucial, terrifying point of this whole analysis. If Ferrari does not quickly uncover and rectify what happened with those medium tires, the problem is absolutely guaranteed to be repeated. We are talking about technical issues that may be related to car configuration, to specific setups required for certain compounds, or even deeper, more complex adaptation problems between Hamilton's precise driving style and the inherent characteristics of the Ferrari under specific track conditions. With only 2 races left in the season, there is zero time remaining for error. Every single lost lap is an open, festering wound on the morale of a pilot who is already 74 points behind his own teammate. And let us be brutally honest, that points difference only tells a fraction of the story. The true drama lies in the chasm of performance that has violently opened up between the two iconic red cars. The situation raises even more chilling questions about the future. Hamilton told the BBC he is not excited about the next year. Ponder the devastating weight of that simple declaration. One of the greatest drivers in the history of the sport, who controversially traded Mercedes for Ferrari in search of new challenges, is now publicly admitting that he has lost his core motivation. If the Italian team does not act swiftly, decisively, and correctly to solve these underlying technical issues, they run the catastrophic risk of completely squandering the talent of a 7-time world champion. And this is not just about performance. It is about preserving the mental sanity of an athlete who has dedicated his entire life to the relentless pursuit of excellence. We are witnessing a man who has always been synonymous with sporting supremacy publicly questioning his own capacity, a thought utterly unthinkable just a few years ago. What makes this entire scenario even more tragically intriguing is the contrast with Charles Leclerc. While Hamilton suffers in the midfield, his teammate is flying, comfortably leading the internal scoring battle. This raises the inevitable, haunting question: is the problem specific to the number 44 car, or is Hamilton facing a fundamental, insurmountable difficulty in adapting his style to the unique characteristics of the Ferrari? Bernie Collins is absolutely right. The investigation needs to be urgent, it needs to be profound, and it must be utterly transparent. Because if there is one certainty that Formula One has always taught us, it is that unresolved technical problems turn into destructive snowballs that obliterate entire seasons. And when you dangerously combine complex technical problems with a mentally shattered, doubting driver, the recipe for utter disaster is complete. We are witnessing a truly critical moment in the magnificent career of Lewis Hamilton. A driver who has always been renowned for his unbreakable mental resilience, for his unparalleled ability to rebound from adversity, is now publicly admitting he is at rock bottom. The question that remains is whether Ferrari will possess the competence, the urgency, and the agility to solve this medium tire mystery before it is irrevocably too late, or if we will witness the unthinkable: a 7-time world champion completely losing his confidence and, worse, his will to race. The pressure is now entirely on Frederic Vasseur and his technical crew. They must act with lightning speed because the clock is violently running out. Vegas may have been just the beginning of a much, much larger crisis. And what do you think? Will Ferrari manage to solve this fundamental problem in time? Or is Hamilton tragically destined to finish the year in the worst possible way? Are we, perhaps, seeing the agonizing beginning of the end of a truly legendary era? Leave your expert opinions in the comments below about what you believe is happening with Ferrari's medium tires. And if you have stayed with us through this analysis, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because the 2025 season is far from over and promises much more drama ahead. Because if there is one cold certainty in Formula One, it is that when a giant begins its descent, the impact echoes across the entire category.